Good evening, Central Indiana. Welcome to Porch Time Live from JTH Construction Studio. Christmas Eve edition. Waiting for people to get on. Hello, Teresa. How you doing, dear? Teresa Messmer. Sponsor of the show, Fathom Real Estate. Get a hold of Teresa for all your real estate needs, 765-341-8911. Thank you for supporting us for another year, Teresa. Once again, we are live at JTH Construction Studio. Merry Christmas, Teresa. And now I've got my cards mixed up. That's what I get. Unprepared this late in the year. What I get. There we go. JTH Construction. Get a hold of Joe for all your construction needs. 765-913-8591. American Basement Solutions. Mr. Larry Ralph Sr. 1-877-409-2837. Hello, Allie. Wellspring, Bob Goodham's Group, 765-342-6661. Wayman's Furniture, Appliance, and Mattress, 765-342-4339. Going to have Mark on next week. They got their usual January 1st sale coming up. So I will have him in studio to talk about that next week. Sid's Comfort System, 765-346-0195. Merry Christmas, Allie. Logan's Cosmo, 765-318-3388. The Yard Barber, Andrew Payton, 765-318-4108. Tommy Walls, Electrical Consulting, Livewire, 765-792-4012. And of course, our gals at Hometown Nutrition, Martinsville. Protein shakes, boosted teas. All right. I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas for myself and Porch Time. We've just got about 3 hours left, and then we all need to be in bed because Santa won't come if you're... Thank you, Gene. Santa will not show up if we're all just hanging out here in studio. There's Jennifer. Hello, Tina. Hello, Jennifer. Again, Merry Christmas for all of us here. As I posted the other day, it's been a very difficult, excuse me, a very difficult year for many people in town, not just ourselves, my family, and everything else. You know, Tommy Grounds just the other day, and then Cody. Merry Christmas, Robert. Cody Moore, and hello, Lenny. Corey lost 2 relatives this year. My kids, my daughters, lost both their grandparents. So, and of course, Tim, my brother. We could go on down the list, Peyton, and it's just been a very, very difficult time for our community. And there is no correct way to grieve. I can't tell you how you should be acting and thinking. It's the same as you couldn't tell me. We all grieve differently. And holidays are tough enough when everybody's with us. Money. Standoff at Lake Hart going on. Praying that ends well. Wow. As I said, holidays are tough enough. Especially with the economy and things like that. It's been a very trying year, and then you turn the corner down here towards the end of the year, and you've got gifts and family and everything else, and it's tough. It's tough on us. It's tough on me. I wish my brother were here. It's first one in 4 years that I've not had Tim with us. And I know Lori and the kids, they're going through it too. And almost any family that's dealing with a loss or has dealt with a loss, the holidays are tough. That's why I said, if you want to vent, you can call my number, you can text, you want to talk, open floor. I can think back to Christmases as we was kids, and when Mom and Dad had no money, and Dad used to guy barricaded in the house, tons of law enforcement. Not good, Robert. Hopefully that ends well. We've had so much loss this past month. I've had 3 visitations. It is, Teresa. It is. I go back to when me and Timmy were kids, and Dad used to make our presents, and There's Larry Ralph. How you doing, sir? And there's Ann. And stuff like that pops in my mind. And it's just, it's not easy, but there's no right or wrong on how you feel. I didn't feel like, we did the Christmas tree event and things like that, but personally here myself, I didn't feel like going through all the motions this year because it had just been fake here at my house. Not that I don't rejoice in the birth of our Savior and celebrating that and things like that, 100%. But at the ground level here, I just didn't wasn't into it this year, and reasons being, and a lot of us are that way. Like I said, the economy's not good. We worry about our country. We worry about our families. I got a daughter flying to Paris tomorrow morning, so I found that out 3 days ago. Woohoo! So yeah, these will be gray by next Tuesday. I'm just saying. First year without your mom. Sorry to hear that, Ann. But what gets me through is I know my brother's in a better place, and he's mad. He's cussing mad right now because he knows he doesn't want any more of the notoriety. And thank you, Seth. And I'm going to share this. This was given to me today, and there's one for Lori. This is metal. The clock made by Shell. She made it, and she gave one to me and one to Lori, and I'll find a spot for it. But I thought that was very cool. I'll keep that forever. Cherish that. That is a wonderful thing. Didn't ask her. Didn't even mention it to her. She just showed up today and said, "Here you go." So can't appreciate her enough for doing that. And there's one over there for Lori. I'm going to get that to her tomorrow. Right. Rose is gone too. What's up, Chris? Just a lot of sadness. But the rejoice side of it, we know they're all in a better place. 'Tis the season to celebrate the birth of our Savior. And, it is what it is. The sorrow of not having a family member here with you, but the happiness of knowing where they're at, and because of tomorrow, we know they're in a much better place than what we have going on down here. But it's still sad, no matter what. I miss my brother, and just like every one of you on here now, or anybody that have lost any relatives, we all deal with it. And I don't know, like I said, losing my parents, I don't want to say it's expected, but it's kind of the pecking order of life. Your parents are going to go sooner or later. You hope later, but you never look at your younger siblings and think, "Oh, there's 7 of us. Tim will last. Me and Tim should be the last 2 to go." Once again, that's not our plan. Those are our plans, and that doesn't work out. That's not the way it happened. And I go back to Larry's words. He gave all he could here, and his time was up, and God needed him elsewhere. What's up, Caleb? Hello, Tammy. Hello, Chris. That's the way you got to look at it, because there's no rhyme or reason why. But we'll get through it. We'll all get through it. Celebrate Christmas tomorrow. I had Christmas today, with my kids. 2 of them here, and then I spoke to the other one on the phone. So tomorrow's an easy day for me. I get to, I may even get up, get some coffee in me, and fire it up and chit-chat again in the morning. Caleb, I hear you, buddy. I've had quite a few of his fellow officers message me. Dan and Josh, talk to them. I do want to address this. We got all the money out from what we made from our thing here. Let me backtrack. We got the gifts sent out to the soldiers. I didn't ever say we had on that. That was done. We got all the money out. Dan Downing and Josh Barrow and we ran around doing that last week. And then Porch Time as a whole, we helped one family out with toys for a little gal. And I won't say who, but it's 2 of my regulars that when I need toys, they they step up big time, and we assisted with that family. So everything that we were trying to get done, we got accomplished. And thanks to all of you. Exactly, Teresa. I didn't either. And the tree isn't, that's the symbolic thing we have here, but it's what's in your heart and what you believe in. Um, I didn't want to go through the fake motions this year, and I'm just being honest. Even Logan today was like, "Dan, we didn't even decorate the studio." I said, "I know, I didn't want to, didn't feel like it. Um, just wasn't in the cards this year." So it is what it is. And I'm all right, and my family's all right, and they'll get through it. And I talked to Lori a little bit today, and we'll see her tomorrow. Um, see Kristen and the rest of them. So it's tough, and I know there's many of you out there that are hurting. Like I said, lost Tommy Grounds, Cody Moore, Rose Lauk. On down the line, there's been a lot of people move on from here this past year, and fingers crossed, 2024 will be a better year for all of us, and we'll hang around longer so we don't. I don't like funeral homes and hospitals, neither one of them. I've missed a few funerals, and I've just told them, look, it's not my thing. I didn't even want to go to my mom and dad's because they've moved on in my eyes, and that's not them any longer. There's CB. It's been a tough year for Corey too. He's had to deal with a lot of grief and pain, and as I said at the start, we all grieve differently. There is no right or wrong. It's you do what you want to do. And I was telling this to my kids today. They're like, "Are you going anywhere tomorrow?" And I said, "I may run up to Lori's for a minute and give her that gift, but I don't want to go anywhere and hang out." Let's see what Larry says here. Very tough, hard year for so many hurting, distraught souls physically. Please reach out to anyone that you know is hurting or is suffering loss. You reaching others hurting can be part of your healing. Also, please remember, everyone, that the last chapter has not been written. Praying for peace and blessing for each and every one during the times of distress. Be patient. We all need other ways we don't even understand. That's why I love that man right there. He's another one that could read long division and make it sound good. He just has a way with words, and it's from the soul. I got to spend some time with Larry and Linda a couple weeks ago, and I don't know of two finer people. Just exceptional human beings, and I think it was Debbie Ellis said, "We're blessed to have you," and I'm like, I'm blessed to have people like Linda and Larry and Debbie and Mike and stuff like that in my life. Believe me, just amazing human beings, and I find comfort in the words that he says. Even we've had him in studio, talked to him face to face, spent time with him. I agree, Ann. There's Mr. Clendena. How you doing, Joe? So he's right. Reach out to others. It's always good to have a shoulder to cry on or ear to speak to, and you never know. You might be. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. And Merry Christmas to the Finn family. As I was saying to Caleb, I've had a lot of you guys reach out. And I will say this, since we was kids, and I mean kids, if you could imagine me and Timmy being tiny, no matter what we did, hunting in the woods, tracking each other, shooting each other with BB guns, or worse, putting M80s in Copenhagen cans. Not that we did that all the time, but Timmy always wanted to be a police officer, and he lived his life doing that, and he loved working with you guys. Loved it. I don't think a day went by where he went home and he wanted to quit because of the job, because of some of the guys he worked with. You guys were just fantastic. Love you too, CB. He loved it, and I always think back to he had sepsis pretty much all week and didn't know it, and he's out Thursday night. Thank you, Joe. Merry Christmas to you guys as well. Appreciate you, man. He went out Thursday night and was doing what he loved. And I called him 10:15, and he was still on it. Messaged him the next day, and he was at the Morgan County Substance Abuse meeting where he spoke with Dan, and yeah, Mike and Debbie are exceptional, and that's awesome, Caleb. I tell people, that guy right there, and Tim, and a few others, man, when you have to take that walk and go notify next of kin and stuff like that, I could not do that. That is, Merry Christmas to you, Tammy. Thank you. Hello, Judy. We have some amazing folks in this community. We catch a lot of flack. Most of it has nothing to do with us. Yes, he could, Teresa. He could read a block in a heartbeat. But we catch a lot of flack. But this community has some amazing people, and one of the things that it's going to turn into a grind my gear session when we get a post about, I don't know, there was something on the community page the day before or something. Maybe it was the police raise, city police raise. And of course, people are griping. Oh, they need to do this, they need to do that. I hate this town. Get out. Two highways now. Get out. Go live somewhere else. I hate being that way, but I'm to the point where I don't care. You don't like it here? First of all, why are you on the page? Second, get out. Get out. It's a free country. Go anywhere you want. Get on that road, and you can drive all the way to the East Coast or West Coast, whatever you want to do. Yeah. Michelle made that deal with him. She had to make the cookies. And the chocolate pie is delish, I'm sure. So I get frustrated with that, and it's a lot of times it's the people that I hate it here, and I hate this, and I hate that. Not one time have I seen them come in and do anything of any fundraiser we've ever done. Not one time have I seen them out in the community doing anything. So they want to complain. Stop complaining and get your butt off the porch and get involved. And maybe you'll understand it a little better. Because we all can sit here and shut our doors and sit here and keyboard warrior and complain and gripe and moan, and that doesn't accomplish anything. Believe me, I like to argue. I like to argue with anybody, but some of those guys, there's no point. It gets frustrating. There's Otis Pugh. What are you doing, Odie? Merry Christmas to you and your family, sir. He's like, don't call me sir. I work for a living. Sergeant Major. Is that better? That's another one. That's another person in this community that is just amazing. Thank you, sir. But Timmy loved what he did. He loved working with you guys. Merry Christmas, Nicole. I spent many times with him in his vehicles, especially in that one he had at the end. He could start a conversation with anyone, and I always say his two phrases I always heard him say was, sometimes good people make bad decisions, and hate the sin, love the sinner. And he would stick his nose in anywhere. And yes, he was firm, and he loved doing what he doing, but he also had a compassion in him for the individual, wanting to help them. Now, don't get me wrong. His kindness wasn't weakness, because I've seen it go where he was trying to help somebody, and the switch would get flipped, and then it was over with. You were, whatever you said or did to him at that point in time, you've messed up. But he didn't turn his back on helping anybody. He always was looking for ways to get them out of the evil they were attached to. And that's what impressed me, because I could not do that part of it at all. And I'm just being honest. He lived it, and he was good at it, and he had some great help with some outstanding officers in this community and county and state. I go back to the funeral. I was like, man, I got tired of hugging cops. I think Dallas broke my head when he smashed my glasses against my face. No, but it's Christmas is a tough time, no matter what. No matter what you have going on in your life. I know they portray it in the movies like it's always rainbows and unicorns, but we know we're real people. We got bills. We have friends that are hurting. We got family that are hurting, and sometimes it's very tough. But the meaning of Christmas is to celebrate the birth of our Savior. Yeah, uh, you know, now you're gonna get me tear up. I gotta fight this one back, Mr. Gilbert. Merry Christmas to you. And I started that before I read it all. I'm gonna ignore him now. I'll get back to you, Carl. Merry Christmas to you and your family, sir. Um, Saturday night, Thursday he went out running around chasing down drugs. I always say running drugs. I know that sounds weird, but running down drugs is what I'm meaning. Friday he went to Morgan County Substance Abuse Council meeting, and it's Saturday we had a little get together, which is a couple sisters and myself and a couple other people. And I asked Patty, I was like, "Wait, where's Tim?" I text him. He had texted me back one time, and she said, "Oh, he's at Paragon." And I just wouldn't have surprised me. It would not have surprised me that he was at Paragon because he was out Thursday, he was out Friday, and he hadn't missed a beat since all this started. And lo and behold, he had got home Friday night and he told Lori he didn't feel well, and I think he slept 16 hours and he got up and he did very little and he went back to bed. But we didn't know that. But I guarantee you, if he could have drug himself to that car, he'd have made it to Paragon that day. He loved that crap. Loved it. Just can't. I was like, "Hey, you want to go fishing?" "Nope, can't. Got to be at Paragon. 3:30, 3 o'clock. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? He loved it. And he got us down there and got us to cover a race and got to meet everybody. And uh, I've been to Paragon 1,000 times and loved it. And just amazed at what they're doing down there. And maybe get back down there this spring, some point in time. Oh, I know. He knew. I've said this before. I know a lot of people, and I tell people I know a lot of people. But Timmy knows a lot of people. Like, knows where they live, knows where they used to live, knows their grandma, their grandpa, their kids, what state they live in. Everybody. And he had a photogenic memory when it come to names. I don't. I'm more of a numbers guy. He has names. They could say his name. "Merry Christmas, Danny." They could give him their name and well, the one who was it? I think one of the DA guys said that they could give him a description of how the guy cut his hair, and Timmy would come up with a name, if that tells you anything. So that's the guy just had a photogenic memory when it comes to names. Hello, Pam. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Connie. Anyway, don't ever think that it's weakness to grieve or to cry over a loved one or a family member, because it's not. We all feel it. We all feel the pain and sorrow and sadness. And there's no time limit or time frame. You grieve how you want to grieve. Merry Christmas, Pam. And like I said, I could, there's a couple, 3 places. I had my Christmas today with my kids. There's a couple, 3 places I could go that family wise I could go to, and I'm probably not going to, and that's okay. You don't want to go? Do your thing. Do what you do to get through it. Don't stay down there though. Don't dwell in that rut. Eventually, you got to pull yourself up and keep moving. Merry Christmas, Connie. And if you need to talk, need to vent, message me, message somebody. Um, it's always good to speak, to talk, to let it out. Sometimes it takes 7 months to let it out, a year. But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to do that. I've had so many people reach out to me. Hey, if you ever need to talk, I appreciate it. I I do my own thing. Not gonna lie, there's tears at night sometimes, and that's when I like to open the line to the big man upstairs and one on one. I'm not a big person that goes to church, never was, but and Merry Christmas, Sean L. to you and Bob, another set of fine people in this community. So that's where I like to speak and let out what I have inside of me, and that's just the way I do it. It may be wrong, it may be goofy to somebody else, but that's the way I do it. That's we all grieve differently, and that's just how we are. If we all did everything the same, it would be very boring. So, but it doesn't mean we can't have Merry Christmas, Nikki. We can't have a Merry Christmas tomorrow. You guys enjoy your family, your time. One thing also, if you want to say a prayer, there's still thousands of our brothers and sisters towing the line out there right now, guarding our country and our way of life. I spent 4 years doing that, and Timmy did too. And we have tons of people from our community that are several, anyway, not tons, several out there that are in the military right now, guarding the line. And I spent a few holidays eating that good chow food and not home. And also to our law enforcement officers, our LEOs, our EMTs, and our fire departments that, they're out there for us. Even on times of holiday, they dispatch same thing. Somebody's got to watch over us. Doesn't matter what the day is or, holiday or whatever, there's going to be somebody there for you. So hats off to them and prayers to them, and I hope they all have a very Merry Christmas. And they do get some time off with their families. Yeah. Um, Thanksgiving was always fun. That's what always, it was that canned turkey, but that's all right. I'm not complaining. It was that canned turkey and canned taters and thanks, Connie. Green eggs and Oh, I always tell the story. We're at NTC. That's my first rotation through there, NTC. And you guys know what that is. It's for those that don't, it's National Training Center. It's out in the Mojave. And it's like 115 in the shade there. It's always fun out in the desert. But at night it gets down to 80 and you freeze your butt off because if you think about it, it's a 35 to 40 temperature swing and you do get cold. But anyway, we'd been there 20 days or whatever, and something got messed up, or we had steak. What the heck? What? Oh, wasn't sure steak? Probably not. But you get to the point where you're just eating MREs, and there's nothing. Supposed to get one more meal a day. That fluctuated every now and then, and it's been like our third day. We hadn't had anything but MREs and nastiness, and I was out of my snack bait that I stowed, and it says combo, so we only ran combo 24/7. There's only two of us, so we split it up 12 and 12. Oh my gosh, 16. That's I think I went twice, never again. But this is like the third day, and I had I'm at a foxhole. We had people move around, so they put us in a foxhole up on top of this ridge, and it, as Otis said, it's just desert. Lots of wadis, lots of little valleys and stuff, but it's desert and rock, and it's hot, it's miserable, and then they put you in chem suits, and that even makes it funner, much more funner. So anyway, it's like 5 in the morning, and they're bringing chow around, and I'm up on top of a ridge on a lookout, and it's in this little tray, which they don't know. Went there twice, 8-second one, once with the. Oh, that's fantastic! Did you jump in, or you probably jumped when you were there though, Wes? But I set my food down, and I had to do something because I was trying to maneuver around in this thing. Hit the tray, the one egg and the sausage and the toast lands in the sand. You're doggone right. I wiped that stuff off and ate that. That was the best egg known to mankind at that point in time out in that desert. That probably was pretty cool, jumping out there. NTC. Look it up on a map, and you'll hear things about Yermo and 29 Palms and things like that. 12 times it does OC. Growl, I bet you it is. Yeah, you guys get to watch the cameras of the foolishness that we do, and then you never wanted to be LID, Lost in Desert, because that would that ends your fun time. Yeah, you guys, if you don't know where it is, Whale Gap, look at Peanut. Timmy was a tanker out there, and he always told me about Peanut or something. I forget what it was, but just Google Yermo or 29 Palms and look around that area there. That's a fun part of the world. But that's what trained us all to be able to do. That's why we rolled across half the Middle East in about 12 hours. Good times, boys. Every one of us would go back and do it again if we could. We know we would. Maybe not Otis. 16 times. Patty, thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well, dear. Same, Wes. I'd do it again. I'd do it again. I'd even go back and let a drill sergeant yell at me. I'm not saying I wouldn't laugh this time because you know the game now. But yeah. Oh, my luck, my drill sergeant would be Gilbert or Otis. And I'd be in big trouble. No, one of them would be drill sergeant, one would be the other command sergeant major, and then I'd just might as well just get used to being an E1 again. Good times though, and congrats, and appreciate all you guys doing what you did. Easier than roofing. Yeah, but when we're doing it, we don't see it that way. Well, I just hated the world. This is stupid. Hurry up and wait. That's no lie for anybody that's ever not been in. That is an Army motto. Hurry up and wait. That is 1,000,000% on the money. But yeah, I'd go back in a heartbeat. They're not looking to take any 56-year-old men right now. That might be changing as we move down the road here, but I'd never pass a PT test now. I'm just telling you, boys. Good times. Good times. Matter of fact, the worst thing about Yermo or going out to 29 or NTC was rail loading all the freaking equipment that we did. That I got to do that a couple times. I don't even like driving 2 miles, Carl. I think the best I ever ran 11:23, and I've got that somewhere. And I was hauling the mail. That was hauling the mail for me. That was my best ever on the 2 mile, which is pretty good. That was I think my last year in Germany. So no, 11-minute 23 straight. No PT, just 1 pound of pressure is all that's needed, right? Hello, Marilyn. Merry Christmas, dear. And we got all these military guys on here with us. But you know what? The holidays that you missed, it goes quick. No, 2 miles. Nice try. That was 2 miles, buddy. I was hauling them out. I was in pretty good shape back then. We ran about 7 a day, so yeah, that was nothing. Of course, that was about 100 pounds ago too, and about 30 some years. I think I was 21. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Angel, you behave. Merry Christmas to you and your family, Angel. And I'm sure I don't remember what day our Christmas group meeting is, because we only threw 1,000 dates out there because everybody's got stuff going on. But I'm sure I'll be seeing you here soon. I think it ended up being the end of the month. I don't know. End of the month, January, as we plan for next year. Anyway, what time is it? Oh, we've only been on about 42 minutes, 37 minutes. We're doing well. For those of you out there that are struggling, you're not alone. The holidays are always tough, even when you've got your whole family with you. But there's many folks in our community this year that have lost a loved one. Most recently, Tommy Grounds, Cody Moore, just the other day. Beats my best time. I was never a runner. I can remember telling my drill sergeant when he got on me about it, he told me I was better wear something right, Angel. Exactly, Carl. No, the reason why I'll tell you the reason why I did it, and then I'll get back to what I was talking about. We had a gentleman in our combo group that was struggling to hit the pass number, and I worked with him. I worked with him a couple weeks leading up to that. We would go out in the evenings and run, and I attached myself to him at the start to push him, and it was a circle area we ran through officer housing. I think it was like 4 or 5 laps was, or I think 4 laps was a half mile, so it was a ton of them you had to do. And I think I ran 8 or 12 laps with him, and then after that, I was just like, "Hang on, Carl, I'll unhide that." I just took off because I didn't. I wanted to, because I had maxed out my push-ups and my sit-ups, and I certainly didn't want to not get that top dog badge like that. And so I just took off flying. But he passed, and that's when I hit that number. Let's just say I didn't say that again. Anyway, I was going to say you probably ran extra for that. Uh, Good times though, man. You know that. Where would you be without that stuff like that? They pushed us. They pushed us beyond our limits intentionally. I got to look at this. So hang loose a minute. Oh, there you go. That's awesome, Mr. Knox. That's fantastic. I was not airborne. I could not did not go that route, and that takes a special human being to do that. I that was a direction I did not go. Airborne, air assault, anything dealing with special forces. Tip my hat to all you guys. And heck, we've got airborne in here. We got 2 command sergeant majors tonight. So yeah, and you went the full distance too, didn't you? Otis, how was that? Carl, were you ever a drill sergeant and a pathfinder? I was going to ask you that. Did you did you enjoy being a drill sergeant, or was it a pain in the ass, for lack of better words? Hello, Darlene. Merry Christmas, Darlene. Yeah, right. Loved it. Where do they send you guys to school for that? Was it in Georgia or Leonard Wood? Why do I think Leonard Wood? Oh, I was gonna say, that's fantastic. You probably had privates older than you. Oh, Fort Lost in the Woods. I was right. I thought it was. hang on. They wouldn't take me. I tried, but didn't have the PT scores. That was that run. Yeah, December 28th. There, C-130 is going to be out there at Atterbury tearing it up. I saw Johnson County. I shared that post. That'll be interesting. They'll have to circle around over here, you would think. I think that'd be interesting just to go see, as long as you stay out of harm's way and don't get a stray one come your way. That would be quite fun to see, I bet, especially over there. Yeah, I think it's 29th and the 30th. Am I wrong? Are you going over there, Wes? I scored a 240. That'd have been a record PT for me if I hadn't been. Hey, you know what? That's all right. You were good at it. You don't get to be a command sergeant major by being bad at something. 28 noon to 6. That'd be interesting. Is it just C-130s going off over there? Are they got anything else? Do they even do the A-10s over there at all anymore? I know when we was kids growing up, that's all you saw was that they'd run their circle at figure 8 pattern and go over there and tear it up. That'll be loud. It won't be the but it'll be loud. 28 noon to 6. I'm gonna write that down. I shared that, but didn't really. Well, it won't be long. It's almost 10 o'clock. I'm sure NORAD is tracking Santa. He is probably closing in on the Midwest as we speak. Oh, you can see him from Johnson County Park. Oh, I imagine so. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, they're not doing any night fire, are they? That would be the one to go watch. As I said earlier, if there's anybody out there needs to text or talk or something, send me a message. We all grieve differently. The holidays are tough. They're always tough, no matter what. So don't, send me a message if you want, or talk to somebody in your family if you don't want to talk to me. It's how you grieve. It's your own way. We all do it differently, and there's no right or wrong. And like I said, tomorrow, if you don't want to be involved in festivities, you don't have to. Do your own thing. Rejoice in the birthday of our Savior, but I keep to myself on stuff like this. See, you were involved in the multiple launch rocket systems. Those were hello Tess, Merry Christmas, dear. Those were frightening. Those were frightening. I didn't get to play with those, but I saw them up close enough, and those were frightening. That's hell on earth when they're coming out. Well, C-130s are too, but this makes the ground shake. So is an M1 Abram when you hello Shelly, when when that thing would cut loose. Merry Christmas to my sister Shelly, one of my sisters, the Mooresvillian. There's Christy. Hello, Christy. Merry Christmas, dear. Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Shelley. Sister Shelley. All right, y'all. Been on here an hour. It was good to talk Army for a little bit. To Mr. Knox, Carl, Otis. 3 excellent human beings, and if push ever comes to shove, I know who I'm reaching out to. All right, I got to read this. This is from Carl. 2015, had to go down to Knox for a feeling of it. Spent a month down there inventorying them. Qualified them before. Whew. So you got to play with him. That would have been fun. That would have been fun. I did get to qualify with the old tanker gun. What did they call it? I pretty much how you qualified back then was I had to hit the stick before I ran out of bullets, because it was when you pop the top and you squeeze it and it looked like a caulk gun, and that was it. And you literally stood there. And I wasn't a tanker, but I happened to be in the right place at the right time. And they're like, "Hey, you want to qualify on this?" And I was like, "Sure." Conwell gets lucky, I get sometimes, and so yeah, I hit the stake, I think, on my last slug. Grease gun. Thank you, Otis. Thank you. See, that's why you guys made rank, and I stayed. I was E4 Mafia. I shouldn't say that, because I was as close as you could get to 5, but I was being logistics got me a lot. Exactly. I bet it did, Carl. But my 999 was my score, and I think it was the year after, like 6 months after I got out, they dropped it. But they kept 99. It was 999 my entire time I was in. There's nothing more I can do. What do you want me to do? So then I get out, and then they throw it down. They drop it. Dropped it a ton. I was like, figures. That's all right. I love being E4 Mafia. Atterbury used to host the Navy SEALs. How's it? They still do, from what I understand. A quick story on that on Timmy here in a minute. Mile long range. I was a Scout 19D. Timmy goes over there. They had a police thing they were doing. I forget what it was for. Yeah, they still have them. He was over there. He had to stay in the barracks and everything right there. They were doing something for... There's Keaton right there. Hello, Crystal. Merry Christmas, Crystal. Keaton, Merry Christmas. He had to go over there for something. Keaton might be able to fill me in on that, but it was something for the police, something he was working towards. And he's over there by himself and had his own little room and everything, but he was like, I got to exercise and walk while I'm over here. I got to do something, do jogging. So he walks out, and he sees something Jim right there, right out his back door. So he just goes across and goes up there. Mary Chrysler. Uh-oh. Hope that's a typo. Merry Christmas, Keaton. So he goes in that gym and starts working out. When Tim had to go over to Atterbury, and he's in there the first day, and he looks around and he sees all these dudes, and I mean, you know, it's like Alpha Male Central. So he goes finishes up and goes back in his room. The next night he's in there working out, and some dude walks up to him and he goes, "We're gonna have to ask you to leave." And Tim's like, "Hey, no problem. I'm just here for this, that, and the other." And when he got out, he looked, and it said it's Navy SEAL only or something allowed in there. And so yeah, they didn't mind it, but they got him out of there. Otis, those guys are tough. Yeah, that SEAL's another cut. They're we had some when we was down in Panama, we had some I forget, I'm missing it. they would, it was a recon platoon, and I forget what their MOS was, but they would basically go out on a Monday into the jungle. Timmy got a picture with the grease gun now. That's the tankers always carried that grease gun, Keaton. But they would go out Monday and they would come back in the following Monday. And I mean, they'd go back out refreshed, ready to go, and they would come dragging themselves in Monday, and then they would take like Tuesday and Wednesday to sleep, prep up, and then by Friday or Saturday they're ready to go again, and then Sunday night, Monday morning they'd head out again. Well, in the midst of one of their things, two of their less than intelligent two, they carried everything. When they left, they'd have shotguns, 15s, I say 15s, 16, pistols, machetes, and they were loaded down completely. And two of them decided they want to have a machete fight, and it's like 20 feet from me, and I'm working on something, and I look up and I was like, what was that thing I just seen fly through the air? And the dude walks over and he's like, calling for his NCO. Sarge, you got to get me to the hospital. What'd you do? Chop my thumb off. And there's blood going everywhere. And they're like, okay, let's go. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Machete fight? His NCO was wearing him out the entire time as they're walking out. Get it on ice. I was like, dude, that thumb's gone. And that blood's going everywhere. But yeah, that was a recon platoon. They were that's another group of interesting individuals. Good times. Good times. You carry wands, you're Navy though. You don't get to carry anything like that on your ship? You're under repair though right now, so that's pretty good though. You have shore patrol though too. I'll hit you with that wand. Those wands can hurt too though. All right, y'all. Hey, tomorrow's Kevin and Otis. We need to get together one evening for dinner. I would like to get a bunch of us together and just we can talk lies and tell stories that aren't true and talk smack. I've been on for an hour, Keaton. I'll call you after I get down here. I'm good with that, Carl and Otis. I'm sure Wes would show up. We could get a whole slew of us. I know Jerry and Bruce would love to do something like that. Merry Christmas, Kim. Listen, y'all out there. There you go. Wes would be there. Merry Christmas, Jason. I said we get put something together at the end of the month, January, after we get through the holiday here. Maybe meet somewhere in town and just have a dinner and sip some bourbon. Whatever. You E8s can easily. Can you guys even fraternize with me? Is that even legal? Where's Santa at? NORAD had him closing in on the Midwest. That's look at that. Like, he's just throwing salt. E9, my bad, Carl. Look, Otis just throwing it out there. I'm retired. Anytime's good for me. You're the busiest retiree I've ever seen, though. Those dogs are awesome, man. You got a shooting range out there? I'm just asking. I think you do, don't you? PV9 now. I'm thinking we could figure out who still can shoot and who can't. That's what I'm thinking. That's good stuff. PFC 9, right? Yeah, you've only got what 5 months left, actual Keaton. Then you're gonna re up though. You try out. No, I haven't done that yet. Well, maybe with that 223 I had for a while, I could have, but I got rid of that. All right, I got to jump. You guys behave. Well, I'll message you guys. We'll get something set up. We'll meet for dinner. Spread all the lies you want. There you go. If I can see it, I can hit it. If it bleeds, we can kill it. That's good stuff. Everybody out there, thank you for the love and support. I hope tomorrow you guys all have a very Merry Christmas. As I said, enjoy the time with your family and friends. You never know. Life is so short. It can be over before you know it. Prayers to all of our officers and LEOs and fire and EMTs and dispatch, and also all of our brave men and women right now standing line, protecting our way of life in our country. So love you guys. Merry Christmas. I'll probably pop on at some point in time tomorrow. And thank you for supporting us over another year as we roll into January, and looking forward. Like I said, I think I'm gonna have Mark Wayman on and another group coming in this short week, but we'll be busy at night. So love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.